Man bariya ko yang anawala bro rayo ramajake aluje program inan remaja lilo Springdale Arkansas. Very low chuponin rain in ever Tamil live chonian Marshallese liaison roarilo chugu cup chonar guest speaker ilo chuponin rain in Liana Crispy. She's from our women's shelter for domestic violence. And it's very low chuponin rain in an alledo chat melele go in domestic violence. Ako ay win go me kaman hini badam chorrenilo chugujugun perwar. Aki ay nailelangan Tamil language pen share chat yan kachala ka melele go ilo munchugulinar Tamil language.
Man kumo luman parchonala ni kanan lewajan nani ni yogo olep romero lalem aloje showin and Marshallese TV kananot karong kumuj ka chuju ke chenot kar kachala ko luwi kolo ko ilune man chalo chabro do wino me ekel gi ngana bardongan karong kumuj ka chuju da ito ko bangain ka kay mimijot awlep kan wawin ko char kanan ka kilo treb kolok bachen celurim kacung adan kamanabaran tabarang ngan tago me rujuguro nijir ka rugagiro rajai guji emejelengot kachala ko jije guj kanan ka nge kel talwon ng bayawam madre jawam chujim karolok menchukul ko peren marong kanta ko kap kanta ko lo yen ko rejirim gich ngan air pagmel ke chen rujuguro melap tata lo yen ko mer nangin mich chalok wa wen ramarong kamanengane rajai guji ng bayawam megel chujim nilong melegin pen manaro cherbali bendron chep ngan kejut mage ngan rujuguro nijirim rawar giper wa barchonal lumon kumol ngane bar karolo jangan koy bo kon bar on mal ko chenchin
kumol Mr. Tamil language kia in this time I'll give it to our guest speaker Liana Crispy, and she's going to talk a little about what they're doing over there at the women's shelter and tago me karain majar ay gujun ramaja gilo an kamilelekil.
Thank you for having me. Like they said, I'm Liana Frisbee. I'm the outreach advocate for Peace at Home, and we are a domestic violence shelter. We serve outreach and inreach. We are a shelter for women that are fleeing domestic violence, women and children, and we are a 24-hour, 7 days a week service. They can always call us anytime. There's always someone there that will answer their call. We serve with, like I said, outreach advocacy, shelter, safe place for women to stay with their children. We also have legal advocates that help navigate.
Edanil Liana Crispy, Chonian advocate roilo, a Rijarabar roilo, women's sheltering. Ejberijini Springdale, Rajarabal Genman and Palairem, Rajarabil Ben Cararom, family go me, or Chorrain gave me Rayawala family go. Olivian Kundaron call it the Rilo Nampagi in here.
Okay. Everything, when a woman calls a shelter and they are needing services or help, or maybe they have a question, they can always feel free to call us and know that everything they say over the phone is confidential.
Baolivian Carrero Ray Gucci Bang Ranaron call the Togirilo, then Nampagi in Iram. And Red Malele, Millegin, Ray Long and rich confidential, Robin sharing and Parchuan Army.
When they call, they don't have to give their name if they don't feel comfortable. The only time that we have to disclose anything is if we know that if they tell us that they're going to hurt themselves or that there's a child that is in need of, that the child is being hurt, then we're mandated reporters and we'd have to disclose that.
Maybe Ramaromber Kurudorum Ramaron Jab Kalo, Pada Yenago Relgun Auruber and Kalo, the Irum, Ivim Pumele, Yenagain me Relgun Auruber and Chalat, Dilo Yenagain me, Chorrain me Raywalong and Irum, Iri Rain Niger.
But we're there. We want the victim to know that we're there to support them and to help them in whatever needs they have.
Eba, Raganabo Kuminjala, Red Berry Bemi, Rani Charabali Bemi, Chibankumilo Chabro, where we go me, Raya Gujin Chibankum.
Okay. A couple of questions that I often get is, what is domestic violence? And domestic violence is several different things. A lot of times when we think about domestic violence, we think about physical abuse, the bruises, the black eye.
Cerian kajita kain me ekair pergi army rai kajita tain domestic violence. Ced army cerita mak domestic violence is the godilo air maniram lelok kagini neje rakam tagir.
But it's much more than that. It has to do with sometimes first of all, it has to do with emotional and verbal abuse.
Maybe I chap ilo physical abuse what I bara ino dilo am kanan ilo air ledogini badangan kum.
Okay. Not only the verbal and physical abuse, but it's the verbal and emotional abuse, but it also has to do with control.
Ever lab yo igichen why when am control of magi.
Control. There's also sexual abuse.
Ever were sexual abuse where when why we gonna generally give sex.
There's so we have the emotional, the verbal, the physical, the sexual abuse, and we also have like threats.
Lalim violence go abuse go or physical, emotional, verbal.
There's the threats.
Dread and the sexual abuse.
Yes. So do you have time to talk a little bit about each one?
A minute, yes, you go ahead. And I can abuse again make a
Okay. The verbal and emotional abuse is really the first basis for the abuse, because often it serves like a foundation for everything else.
The verbal
and emotional.
Verbal and emotional abuse, menuko kana jinon da ilo an kiyong walog minagin chorrain again. Emotional ka verbal.
Because oftentimes, I mean, when the victim, the abuser, has destroyed the self-esteem of the victim, then the physical can begin.
Mejiba, minagain right pound the jeno kana dilo nge army jeno kamane wa wen ilo lelo nanem kamadage rilo kolomang lagujam gia elag relog wa wen gia ido gia physical abuse
The verbal emotional abuse destroys not only self-esteem, but comes in the threats. If you leave me, I'll kill you or I'll kill myself.
Emotional ka verbal abuse is wala dilo dair kijong kanana nganir nge ngokumne jolog the loy pangali ngokumne jolog innemine kamani mini kamijagir.
Yeah. Once the victim feels like their self-esteem is gone, there's no help, there's no friends, there's nothing they can do, then when the physical abuse occurs, that's why often the victim will not seek help.
Self-esteem ka pagiliga de anarmi jinga dalim chorren kia ibru anarmi jimi kamijagir gia ne control jani jena madal.
And so with all these different kinds of abuses, we just want the victims to know that there is help. There is help for those victims that are seeking help. They just need to call us at the 479-442-9811.
Mayba, menge minigin raja ko rakanan kalangan ke chokoronda hak mukumni call rilo nambayo miyan ba innem rene yon malako dum chitangko.
So please seek help for you and the children. And like I said, it's confidential, and so they don't have to worry about us. We're not going to call the police. We're not going to call. We just want to be there for support.
Mayba irgun auro kumun chibang kumun tuko chibangan kumum elab da juriro. Chala ke awle melele gin rai bagi chet melele ko me raban sheri pen raban le do leda. Raban call mun please man and I kadami kabi kadai rot. Irgun auro kumun call irbe echon wa we ne melugun aur echabangan kumot ak elab da juriro nir.
Okay. So, is there any
Okay, man, chene bar walal dagilo programa ini lo minute kana rate pero. Kamol.
Jiggy, 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 ja. Long did I say cepillar. Your teeth always brush. Take your time, there's no rush. Every time you eat a meal, brush your floss. That's the deal. Fluoride is that secret touch. Make you shine when you laugh. Doctor, dentist, do not fear. Visit twice or more each year. Oral health is worthwhile. That's the way you'll always smile. Long did I say cepillar. Jiggy, 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 ja. Long did I say cepillar. Jiggy, 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 ja. Chiqui, 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 cha, lo tienes a cepillar, no se te puede olvidar, siempre hay que recordar, el fluoruro ayudará, tu salud ora cuidar, y tu diente conservar, tu dentista visitar, 2 veces al año más, chiqui, chiqui, cha, sin prisa, tú tendrás linda sonrisa. Time to brush, time to flush, chiqui, 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 cha. Here we go, here we go.
Word of the day. Where are you going? Where are you going? Now I'll give it to Dami Laiwish to elaborate more on that, and then from there, Dami and Liana is going to continue with the domestic violence explanations and these things that they want to share with us.
Once again, thank you, Lumen, for giving me this time or this opportunity to express more of the word Kwajadalangania. And I think this is a good word for you listener to kind of learn, because then if you meet a Marshallese somewhere, you can try to kind of say something to them, which is like when you speak some of the word in the language is kind of something is, make us feel good, and it's kind of good. So Kwajadalangania, next time you see a Marshallese, please try that. Kwaj Edal ngan ya. Okay, and I will now turn this time to Liana so she can express more on the topic that we were talking about this morning.
Okay. Talking back about the domestic violence, I don't know if many of our community members are not aware that last year alone we lost 18 women to domestic violence. And there were women that were young, they were old, older, or they were different ages and different races.
Personally, it kachung community kajang mlale orgar aware ag melale gar war chit kararo merar chago yigichin domestic violence ga ilawawinan kalamaro merong kokure kararo meleng yogo an kararo ni merar merong mich chen domestic violence.
Yes, domestic violence is not only, it's one of those things that used to be a very close family secret. The community did not discuss it before. It was just kept in the home.
Domestic violence e chalakar woda jan kijrumajal archun minume an pamle woda me ar pero di per megem chiche express age nganot pamle go nganro lawan jonim agraini ni jilamana ge chon minume chiche kuchki karu jalok kanage eja itu waktu bayin kokure karayana parayano ta kokure kalamalok jeno ko anchon jugujugun ber ajuri ro mero pelu chigu.
But now, because that has increased, and not only is it affecting the father, the mother, it's also spilling out to our children, and it's affecting our children.
Eno da agar palong man jebuto ko bayin kokure pamleo a charo mero kaman problem aga gi abar do ko me ko ejelet wa wena rujuguro nejir ka tak kenege ramarong itu kom kia pengalaman kain lui yenudem jejem marong transfer ya pengalaman kain jenro ngan ajuri nijir.
When children grow up in a domestic violence home, it's the perfect nursery to raise more abusers and more victims. And not only do the children start acting out in an abusive way, or the females tend to be more the victims, but it starts also showing up in school, in activities, in everyday life.
Engin when we know me ajuri rin marong bagajan air lale ka rong jage ilo wa winer idong anchon wa we know me reba domestic violence kia yenge rujito kia bagilo Pagkalongan muncul kayam kan yang lain itu kom lama lari gerak itu kom pai itu lari gerak. Kau dan karera lari gerak buk abusive agak pagatan me regulator kan nangan pagatan domestic violence.
Okay. Not only as the children get older, when the children become more teenagers, especially the boys, it becomes a very dangerous time because once the boy is able to stand up and defend his mother, then he finds himself sometimes confronting the abuser.
Jonian yen ko me lugun ben ngan an ajri rain lamana kage lo yen ga me rojito ko ren chone me teenage ge kan ge kia largi ne manu to kum kia chumai chemen kaching protege aga chuta ligin chinen kan ge echep kanan ben walo wawin gin nganem kia lo yeni ne chinoan ge chono me e buk kain lamana grotagin.
Often our children get hurt because they're trying to protect. Not only that, but they go through a lot of anxiety because they're a child. They see what's going on. They don't know if they're going to wake up one day and find their dad in jail or if they're going to wake up one day and find their mom dead. The anxiety of not being able to do anything to stop the situation.
Chuan wawin me very ben ajri ren chuan lamana ko me lugun nana kan ge chedien rechep chala tayo na walo nge mamayo ini mich a chemene very local buch elban chon meno me ko kure kala malo jana ko air ilo air aluji impello situation ge na domestic violence ke me ro walo ngan pamlin.
Right. And often our children will have outbursts of anger at school. Not only that, but they start seeing in their grades, they start failing courses in their school, grades go down. Because when they're in school, all they're thinking about is, I just left my mom and my dad in a big argument. What will I find when I get home? Will they be there? What's going to happen?
Menege ne relgun chile da ajriyo iloan pello chigul kenege chediye ne ko kure wawina na ajriyo pello chigul we marong ilulu emprano de marong obagla mana kain baki ge emeja pello wawina ne role milo pamleo eo chigigin tayo rech periye ki wawin gin anoda ba relgun dogom kaman menina rigu rain echebal choreno wawina ne katak aprano kalamalo jeno ko ay rene per ene pello problem go me resolute domestic violence.
And often on our younger children, what we'll see is bedwetting. They wet the bed. They become withdrawn. They tend to just be very quiet or timid. The minute that the voice is raised, they become frightened.
Lo yeno me ko jelwa na jiri rain pug wawin gin lo yeno go jiri ko jala ga rene ikudugut kadudu pudongo prano gi kanan magelo gi air chedorome rechep kanono required.
It's a lot of stress for our children to have to go through. You know, they're little, they have no control, and they're here to be actually protected by mom and dad.
Ajririn ririgo negar choba wa rijel lagunar du bojen common puk common problem ge je we gar dugum puk kunari lo la lerum kartur lo chun environment man ngana yer boren marong successfully lo morge nair.
And this is where many children sometimes suffer abuse themselves because if there's an argument, there's a fight, dad's trying to, it's going to hurt the mom, the children get in between, the child ends up getting hurt. And so that's one of the reasons we need to step out and take that first step and seek help.
When go in me je we kun kalamal lo jana ga lo yeno me one problem again, Ajri Chigro, a carry docum, todo Benjamin Jameer, Emlo Yenin, Armenian American problem, Maraja Lukun Lamanak, Recommandem, Kokore, Ajri Rain, Emingin, while we know me, Arido Bajan Qualok, Action step up, Kitchen Qualok, or problem, Womaji, Jaguich, Kamani Boran Chago.
And the thing is, we need to stop and think. Abuse has started way back with our grandparents, parents, and now the family member now. We need to stop this cycle of abuse. It's going to continue to trickle on to our children, to our grandchildren, to our great-grandchildren.
Chonin wawin jalaga yudojen generation go iman jen rochibur parano rochen jemer aga choni yen giyo jen buge bojen kabajaraga Payenje waligula ho dengan ro nijir im ro nijir.
So I urge you to please seek help and call our 800 number. It is confidential. It's 479-442-9811.
Yemingin kanana wa bak chen kapajara wa winin jojim calling nambanga na yamjam ligudi bukun call. Emeno darba chalo chune ne chala one wa call kap kum pan chala adam ngam kochep call gadam. Ayengin taw cheje kuj kamane cheje kuj lamana ke em kachiang calling nambanga in be en em malok. Ina yikia karalangan lumer man wan malok chenchin.
Thank you, Liana, and thank you, Tommy.
Thank you.
Word of the day, where are you going? Where are you going? Hi, where are you going? My name is, I'm fine, thank you. Remember, we had the other word from last week's, and the word for today is, where are you going? Parjonalan, yawayaolab, lokomlo, mandrain law. Ilo alelo kain karali da gmen karadam yon ilo programi nan remaja ilo Springdale.